G'day everyone, welcome back to Pete's Investing. Today is May the 19th, 2023. This is the Nat Gas price update. Well, we finally had a break of this resistance and I'll go through that in a minute. But first let's talk about where we are in terms of the general trend. You can see here this is the weekly and the daily. And on the weekly we're still in a neutral positioning primarily, but on the daily we're broken to the upside. So let's drill down to each of these and I'll talk about the hourly chart in a minute as well, as I said. So what we look at primarily is the triple moving average of the price chart. That's the moving average 3, 5 and 60. And that compares with the moving average 5 and 50 of the CCI 150. And if they're aligned short, they gives us a short signal. If they're aligned long, it gives us a long signal. And if they're undecided between the two of them, it gives us a neutral signal. So on the weekly, primarily we're still neutral, and better positive is it's broken up from the negative which it was, or the bearish signal which it was for some time during the last 6 months or so. So primarily we're looking at neutral, which means avoid trading if you're really conservative about not taking too high a risk. On the daily, you can see there that's broken to the upside. So again, if you want to trade on the daily trend only, you can trade on the lower time frames, and I'll go through that in the hourly chart in a minute. But first off, let's just look at what's happening here. We had a support at 2064, if I zoom in, and we had a resistance at 30.50 and a minor resistance at 25.56, and it's broken through that overnight quite substantially. So that's a good bullish candle there. But we've also got this diagonal trend line, and it bounced off that over the last few weeks. If I zoom out, that trend line you can see there goes back to middle of 2020 on that bottom there. So that's that diagonal trend line in the shorter term. So where are we now? Okay, let's zoom in here. First of all, we had this bullish divergence playing out on the CCI versus a bearish divergence on the price chart. And we did say these generally play out, I would say, if I had to put a figure on it, about 80% of the time. I'm the 80-20 rule person, so I like the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time these work, and about 20% of the time they fail. Now, so far, I'm not saying this has worked, but it's working. And that's our first resistance was that dotted line at 25.56. Now, where I'd like to, if I was going to trade this, and I don't trade it, I'm just giving you some ideas. If you're going to trade this going long, the initial target would be this support at 30.50. But I would typically look at the Fibonacci retracement from the recent highs and lows, and I would take the closest, or some range of a target, probably 23% at this case. And that's sitting at a 32.54 level as a target. So if I was going to put in a, let me just zoom in and draw a little target range. So the target would be somewhere between the 38% and around the 23%. That'll be your target range to hit in there, if not this initial resistance line. So that's where we are at the moment. So if you want to trade on a shorter time frame, if you want to place a trade on the daily, that's probably I wouldn't say a safe one, but probably a semi-risky trade to place. Now on the hourly, I like trading generally when the weekly and the daily are in alignment, and one trading strategy would be when those weekly and daily timeframes are aligned. Take the and then we look at the CCI 150 down here, which is the same as a weekly and daily as well. When they're all aligned as well, we take candle breakouts from the fractal. So you would have taken it, any of these candle breakouts, when the weekly and daily are aligned, and they're not at the moment. So if you want to be very cautious about trading, use that approach. So again, to understand how to trade the average down approach, I don't use stop losses. Reference the links in the description below. Subscribe and support us more on Patreon. We do weekly scans of stocks, currencies and commodities. Subscribe, like and share the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in a future video.